Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Nextorch Max Star. This, as you can see, is a 1200 lumen headlamp, and I haven't had a headlamp for quite some time. I used to have a few of them. They were stolen out of my car some years ago and I never thought of replacing them. I've actually been using flashlights with a double-sided clip and pinning them to my hat. Lately I've been doing quite a few light painting videos, and I've been finding that putting the flashlight to my hat isn't the best option. It just doesn't feel balanced and feels like it's going to fall off. So it's really nice timing that I managed to get one of these. So this is the box that it comes in, and you can see here, one of the cool things about this flashlight is that it has a rotational magnetic switch. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you're wearing a headlamp, I don't want to be fiddling around with buttons, especially because, you know, if you're wearing gloves or if you're in the dark, it's just quite difficult to sometimes find where that button is. So if you've got this system where you can just twist and go to the different modes, I think that makes things so much easier, simplifies everything. It's got the built-in battery as well. So built-in 2600 milliamp lithium ion battery. Here's some more information on the side, but you've got basically 1200 lumens on high, 160 lumens on medium, and 20 lumens on low. You've got the run times here. I think 4 hours and 30 minutes is pretty good for that top mode, and I'm definitely expecting for it to ramp down. And you can see here there's some information about the rotational magnetic switch and Type-C direct charge design. With the flashlights that I use these days, I really prefer them to have USB-C charging. That's more of an emergency thing because I have a separate charger that I can take out the batteries and charge them. But it just means so much more convenience, especially if you're traveling, doing a bit of hiking or something like that. You can plug that into your car's USB port and charge it on the go. So for a practical flashlight, USB-C charging is something that should be included. 180-degree headlight angle adjustable. Okay, so you can flip it up and down. That's fantastic. It uses an Osram P9. I was trying to find out what LED this is using. So it's good that it actually states it here in the back. That's the same LED that's in my Lumens C3. It's a nice floody LED, very efficient as well. Material, aluminium and polycarbonate. So I want to have a look and see what's inside the box. Let's open it up, and what we got? So pretty simple. You've got the headlamp itself. You've got, of course, the charging cable, and here you have the instructions. So let's have a look firstly at the instructions. I really like these one-page instruction manuals. Just makes things a lot easier to get started. And you've got here just some specifications. 200 meters beam distance on the high mode. Pretty much the same sort of information as we spoke about before. Okay, it's actually got a looks like a 1x18650 cell that fits in the back of the flashlight. I wonder if that's actually replaceable. There's some screws in here, probably is. And yeah, interesting. It's 2600 milliamp hour cell. If I could replace it, especially, or carry around others that have a higher rating, that might be a goer. Let's see, what else do we have on here? So yeah, aluminium and polymer. I wonder if that just means polycarbonate or some sort. So here is what the headlamp looks like. It's got an orange peel reflector, and the actual, let's have a look here. So this part of the flashlight, oh, look at that. So you turn it, you basically, okay, so it doesn't matter which way you turn it. You can turn it counterclockwise, or you can turn it clockwise, still switches over. So it's basically off, low, medium, high, off, low, medium, high, off. I wonder if there's I don't think there was a strobe mode or anything on there, was there? No. So there's no strobe mode. Very simple, and I barely even use these strobe modes anyway, except when I'm light painting, and I wouldn't use this for light painting. You've got the USB-C charger over here on the side, the USB port. Yeah, I'm actually really liking this simple operation. The metal bit is actually, as you can see, the part that's housing the LED. So almost like the torch section. And the cool thing as well, check this out. You can take it off and use this as a handheld flashlight even. Bring this along with you. Put it in your pocket if you need it as an emergency flashlight. So it does have an odd sort of grip, but it does work. So it detaches fairly easily. Grippy, it's fairly grippy, but it does attach. It's almost like it's one of those pressure grips. Stick this one back on. Oh, look at that. So you've got this easy up and down sort of motion like that. Nice little swivel. You know, very intuitive function, and I like the beam profile of this flashlight. You can see it. You know, I'll do some shots later on, but just pointing it up at the wall, you've got a lot of flood, but especially for a little reflector like this, I'm surprised at the intensity of that hotspot. Okay, and you can see here there's some adjustable bits and pieces as well. You sling that over your head and then you can basically tighten it. So all in all, this looks really quite promising. And I'm going to be doing some beam shots, just some field tests with it as well. I'll also do some measurements of my light meter, including the color temperature, color rendering index, and maybe some throw tests as well. Nextorch Max Star. I'll go on low first. Sort of looking down into this train platform area. Let's go to medium. It's quite impressive the amount of throw this headlamp is producing. And now on high. Different angle, low, medium, high. So swivel this head around, well, you can bring it up and down, change the angle quite easily. Also you can take it straight out and hold it like this, just like a torchlight. Feels funny kind of holding it, but it works. Low, medium, high. I love this rotating switch as well. No more fumbling for these buttons or anything, it's just easy twist from on and off. Nextorch Max Star on turbo. Welcome back everyone, I hope you enjoyed those beam shots. I want to finish off this video by talking a little bit about what I liked, some of my observations, and just some considerations as well. So I've used this light for over a week, about 2 weeks, and I've gone for night walks, treks. I bring it out with me when I'm doing beam shots as well, just as a general light so that I can see what's going on with my camera. I found it very comfortable to wear. One of the things I like is this sort of design on the strap here, so the weight is kind of distributed, so it's not just sort of squeezing your head in, but you've got a bit on the top and the bottom. So it feels a little more comfortable than normal bands that I've used in the past. It's been a while since I've actually used a headlamp. I used to have a bunch of them. I find that I use the medium mode pretty often. It's more than sufficient to see what's going on in front of you without kind of overpowering everything. So it's just good to have that nice high beam, that high mode if necessary. And the low mode's good if I'm just looking at my camera or something kind of closer by where I don't need the light to just blast out too many lumens. The Osram P9 that's included in here is a really good choice. I find that it's quite energy efficient, bright enough to accomplish most tasks, and it doesn't draw too much power, especially from this 18650 cell. One thing I found really surprising about this light was how well it actually throws. Now, usually for headlamps, I've just been used to using ones that have more of a flood beam. But even with the orange peel reflector that you can see in here, this light throws a significant distance. The spec sheets say that it throws 200 meters, which is accurate according to the beam shots that I've done. I find this creates a really distinct hotspot with generous spill, so you do get the best of both worlds there. I also like that it has an 18650 battery, and these are becoming more common in headlamps, but you know, some of them do have 800 to 1000 milliamp hour batteries inside, and of course that restricts how long the light runs for, and at times the LED that's put in here. So I like that it does include an LED that can put out 1000 plus lumens if required. I like the fact that it has water resistance as well, so we're talking about rain and it's going to do completely fine. You're probably not going to want to submerge this thing in the water, but it also has a 1 meter drop resistance, and that's something I look for with headlamps, just making sure that it is rugged enough to handle any kind of condition, like whether you drop it or whether it starts raining while you're trekking or hiking. I think that's really important. Headlamps should be rugged enough to stand up to a few knocks. The design of the switch is really quite interesting and intuitive. So really you can just, you see, if you just switch, just turn it over, it just cycles between the different modes. So if you go to the left, it goes to the lowest mode. To the right, it's the highest mode. So high, medium, low, medium, high, and then back to low, medium, high. So it just sort of cycles through and off, which is one of the little configurations as well. And I found this to be really useful. It's just so intuitive. And especially if you're, using gloves or something like that, you don't want to be messing around with some buttons and pressing around and figuring out what to do. I know some headlamps come with a whole array of LEDs and different options and that kind of thing, though it can get a little bit tricky. And this is just something that works quite easily. I don't have to think too much about it. I like that you can also pull it out and use this as a general light as well. So it does feel a bit funny in the hand, but it is an option. I also like that it can be sort of moved up and down, as you can see. So very, very simple, up, down, and then switch this to sort of turn between modes. I mean, you can't go wrong there. It's definitely very intuitive to use. You don't even need to read the instructions to figure this one out. So in terms of considerations and improvements, I thought it would be worth mentioning that the battery can't be hot swapped out. So this is something you see on a lot of headlamps, and it's kind of just sealed in here, probably for water protection as well. But there's a few screws here. I think they're Torx screws. I can't really make out what they are, but basically you'd need to open that up to take out the battery, but I'm sure it'd be quite simple to replace it if it went bad or anything like that. The good news though is that the headlamp does last 4.5 hours on high. You've got 40 hours on low and 8 hours on the medium mode. You certainly have enough juice there to last you for a while before you need to recharge it, but just something that you might want to keep in mind. Would also be nice, I also thought it would be nice if a moonlight mode was included. The lowest mode is 20 lumens, which is, it's fairly low, but if you wake up in the middle of the night, it can be a little bit bright to use it. So that's about the only two things I could think of. Other than that, I've been really pleased with how it's performed. It's just so easy to use, and that's something I look for with headlamps. Something that you can just chuck in your bag, and especially in the dark, operating it in more difficult conditions, you don't have to think too much about what modes you're using, what buttons you need to press. It's just a simple switch here, a rotating switch. So if you're interested in this headlamp, I have put a link in the description to the Nextorch website, and they'll have the Max Star link there for you. You'll be able to look at just the specifications, a little bit more information, and also if you want to purchase it through that same link, that's available as well. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate if you click the like button. That just helps my videos get out to more people. And if you want to see me make more reviews, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.